Hey you, it's the Bootleggers Brew Review.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Schultz.
And I'm Paul Schultz. And we're a couple of beers.
Stay with us because today is National Bootleggers Day.
That's right, it's January 17th, so our episode is a special Bootleggers beer review.
Stay with us.
Welcome back to A Couple of Beers. We're glad to have you with us. Today is January 17th, which is
National Bootleggers Day.
National Bootleggers Day. So America has this really fascinating culture and history of bootleggers, moonshine runners, during Prohibition, right?
Absolutely.
Now, our family have been stock car fans for ages, right?
Ages, the whole family.
The whole family. We all have our favorite drivers. And in fact, it's a little point of contention in our marriage, in a fun way. I know, along with the rest of the intelligent thinking world, that Jimmy Johnson is clearly the best driver of the modern era. I mean, hands down.
Well, we could also talk about Dale Earnhardt Jr., who is fantastic.
No, wait a minute.
Talk about legacy.
We could talk about, if you want to talk about legacy, talk to me about Dale Earnhardt, but you could leave the junior part out of it. Anyway, to be honest, our favorite driver was our daughter Hannah, who was in our non-alcoholic beer review.
Yeah.
And in fact, this is her team. Chase This Race. She was number 99H.
Yeah, she ran a season at Lawrenceburg Speedway.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun, and it was what? Super stocks.
Super stocks, yeah, it was great.
So it was a lot of fun. So what we're going to do today is we're going to share with you some bootlegger beers.
What that means is not bourbon barrel, but barrel-aged beers.
Yeah.
You often hear about the bourbon barrel, but there's gin, there's tequila, so there's lots of different kinds of barrel-aged.
That's right. So we're going to kind of dive into those barrel-aged beers. But before we do, we want to share a little bit about how stock car racing is connected to bootlegging. Mm-hmm. So all of the things that stock car drivers do, stock teams do, is that they try to modify their cars so they're what? Tighter or looser in the corners, or straighter, faster in the straights, or all of these things. These have their roots in running moonshine from the police. And so we're going to share a little bit about Junior Johnson and the moonshine runners of NASCAR. When you think of NASCAR's roots, you can't help but picture the grit, determination, and raw talent of legends like Junior Johnson. Born in the hills of North Carolina, Junior was steeped in bootlegging culture. As a young man, Junior mastered the art of outrunning police and federal agents on winding back roads, driving souped-up cars loaded with moonshine. It was this fearless skill behind the wheel that earned him the title of the last American hero. Bootleggers like Junior were the pioneers of NASCAR. Their fast, modified cars, designed to carry illegal whiskey and evade the law, were the precursors to today's race cars. When Prohibition ended, the thrill of speed and competition carried over to dirt tracks across the South, where these daring drivers began racing for glory. Junior Johnson went on to win 50 races in NASCAR's Premier Series and became a legendary team owner, cementing his place as one of the sport's greats. But his story reminds us that NASCAR's heritage isn't just about racing. It's about the ingenuity, courage, and rebellious spirit of its bootlegging founders that still lives on today on tracks across the country. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that little slice of history and learning about how stock car driving and bootlegging are connected.
Yeah, it's a fun history.
Well, so for our first beer, for Bootleggers Beer Review, we have what?
This is called Kentucky Vanilla Barrel Cream Ale. It's actually a 5.5% ABV, so it's, as far as barrel age, it's pretty low. But it was aged in oak barrels, so it is.
Okay, oak bourbon barrels.
Yeah, oak bourbon barrels. So it is barrel aged.
So, and this is by Lexington, yeah.
Lexington Brewing Company.
Okay, so these have been really popular, and I think one of the reasons is they're still sessionable at that ABV. So one of the big flavor profiles that come out of oak barrels are vanillins. We get a taste of vanilla or vanilla bean, and so I'm guessing vanilla barrel cream ale is going to give us a lot of that note.
I think so too.
You want to see what's going on the nose?
Smell it. Oh, I smell the vanilla.
Oh,
it's a lovely
very
smell.
Prominent. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So ideally, that should be coming just from the barrel primarily.
Yeah,
all right, ready?
Let's see what we've got.
All right.
That's really
very
nice.
much vanilla.
I get a lot of vanilla. I don't get a lot of bourbon. I mean,
no.
And you would expect, I expect barrel aged to have some kind of alcoholic flavor to it,
Or
but
warming.
this one doesn't.
Alcoholic warming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not at all.
No,
This
it's
is
good.
almost purely vanilla for me, though.
Yeah, there needs to be something else there, I think, maybe to balance it, but there is a lot of vanilla, which is
I
a
mean,
little overwhelming, I think.
it's creamy. It's a cream ale. It's light. I mean, it's nice that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a one note.
Yeah.
And
It is.
by having said that, at 5.5, I mean, this is drinkable all evening
All day
long.
long.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think I know where I want to go with this.
I think I do too.
Okay, here's our score.
So what'd you think about that first one?
Well, it was kind of, I said, kind of a one note of vanilla,
Mm-hmm.
but it goes to your point that you made earlier, which was not everything barrel aged tastes like bourbon. And then there's a lot of variants out there.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
appreciated that.
And the next beer is a
Okay.
variance on that because I've not experienced a lot of these.
Okay.
This is a sour ale. It's called Saturn by Pretentious Barrel House.
In a bourbon barrel?
No, it's an American sour brewed in gin barrels
In gin
with
barrels.
almonds and spices.
Ooh, this is going to be fun.
Now, this one is also, I mean, when you think of barrel aged, you think of the high percentages,
Yeah.
ABV. This is an 8.6, so it's getting up there, but it's not where I expect them to be. 8.6
Okay.
is still
Okay.
elevated,
Yeah.
but
We're jumping up
we're getting there.
3.1% in
keep
ABV.
watching
But
because it's going to get real interesting.
well, let's knock into this. Okay, I'm excited
It's
about
a
this.
sour
A sour aged in gin barrels.
barrels.
With what? Almonds?
Almonds and
And
spices.
spice.
Look at that. That's
Oh,
look at
my
that.
goodness.
I see almond in the color.
Oh, my goodness. I do too.
Oh, look at that. That head is beautiful.
That's beautiful head. Nice tight bubbles.
What color would you call that?
The head,
Yeah.
probably off tan, off white tan.
That's a. Oh,
That color is copper.
yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
As I was pouring it, there was a smell coming out of
Yeah.
it, so I'm ready to.
Let's see. Yeah,
Whew.
I get gin.
I'll be honest, it smells like a cocktail.
It does.
It smells like a cocktail.
Fruitiness.
Uh huh.
I get fruitiness. I get
Yeah.
maybe a little spice note, but overwhelming kind of fruitiness from the the gin.
Well, and you get the juniper from the gin, and I think that is
Yeah.
partly what I'm getting. So,
the juniper
Yeah.
aroma. Yeah. Okay.
Ready to knock into it?
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Okay. Vroom vroom.
Vroom, vroom. Boogity boogity.
Oh my word. I'm not even. I need to have another
Yeah,
sip.
you know, I like it because it's so different. It's not overwhelming gin. You get it, but it's not overwhelming. There's definitely the sour.
Yeah. It's tart. I get sweet
Yeah,
tart
it's
or
almost- I don't know. I almost get vinegar on it.
I could see where you could get a little
Yeah.
bit of that vinegar, but it's not unpleasant
I
at
really
all.
like it.
I do too.
Yeah.
You said juniper?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful juniper tones. It's and again, but it's not. It doesn't taste
Not
of gin.
overwhelming. It's not an overwhelming flavor in the beer. It's still a beer.
I think. I mean, it's so unusual.
It is.
So it's hard
It is.
to put descriptors to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But floral. I think
Oh.
juniper. You're right. There is spice to it, but the spice doesn't compete.
What is that spice I'm getting though?
I don't know, but there's something between the spice and the almonds and the sour.
It just is a delicate balance between all of these flavors, and it works
It totally works.
nicely. Yeah.
How are you finding that 8.6%?
Fine. I think it's good. I
Yeah, it's fine.
It's good. You know, so far the higher level of ABV is not.
Yeah. All right, I'm so ready to
I'm
score
so
this.
ready to score this one too. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've had 2 beers and 2 surprises, I think, so far.
So far, are you ready for another surprise?
Is that what's coming up?
I think so.
All right,
I think so.
Let's see what we've
So
got.
this one is caught by Great Lakes Brewing Company. It's called Bourbon Barrel Rye. So what this is a rye ale aged in bourbon barrels.
Ooh.
It's their limited release. They
Okay.
do it once a year. This is the 2024 release. It's 11.6.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I love rye ales, and I like bourbon, and I like rye whiskey. So I wonder if we're gonna get some of those.
I have a feeling we
Okay.
will, so I'm excited
Let's see
to
how we go here.
what we get out of this one.
Well, that color is just about what I expect. Oh goodness sakes!
Oh, look at that beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
That's
Darker
nice.
than copper, and probably amber.
All right, look at that beautiful. The way the head is just.
Look, nice tight bubbles again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So far, the heads have been nice, lovely. You want to see that on a beer because that
Rye bread.
starts out with how you are enjoying the beer. You
Yeah.
want to smell it. It starts with what it looks like.
Yep.
Let's do taste with your eyes.
Start with your
first.
eyes, then your nose.
Yeah.
And I'd already jumped to my nose, and I got rye bread. Tell me what you think.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, rye bread.
Like good rye bread.
I don't smell bourbon. I smell rye bread,
I might get a little bourbon.
but not overwhelming.
If anything, it's that kind of rye whiskey kind of flavor that I
Mhm.
like.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Want to see what's going on?
Let's knock into it and see what we got. I'm excited. Another surprise.
Yeah, the
I
bourbon, there's vanilla,
Mm-hmm.
but the rye tempers that in a way
Yes.
for me.
It does. It's not an overwhelming bourbon flavor.
Sweet.
Which, yeah, there's a sweetness to it, but yeah, you get all the flavors kind of melding together, so it makes
Yeah.
for a nice balanced.
And speaking about
Here.
drinking with your eyes, look at the lace on your glass. I mean, that's a
That's-
great sign of what?
It's a great sign of malt.
Yeah, malt characteristic.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
well done.
Oh, it's
Well done, Great
it's
Lakes.
sweet. It's for me. It pushes just the edge of over sweet,
Mm-hmm.
but the rye kind of flavors pull that back.
Yeah, right. The balance is nice.
Do you get any coffee tones or?
I don't think so. Although I can
I get
see
a
where
little bit, yeah.
I can see where someone might,
Okay,
for sure.
there's definitely an oakiness.
Yeah, it makes you want to drink more because there's a drying, I think, to
Yeah.
it for me.
I think maybe an easy way to describe this is to say complex.
Complex.
There's a lot going on for me.
There is. Yeah. You ready to score it?
I'm not sure, but I can give it a shot. Here we go. Okay, well, so we're halfway through,
Halfway through.
and I've been
Yeah.
very surprised.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the drinks in their own ways.
They've all been different.
They have, even if this isn't maybe a style that we really is a personal favorite,
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying the complexity.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the flavors. I'm kind of,
Yeah.
this is getting
This is
interesting.
nice.
Yeah.
They've all been so different that it's just been so enjoyable to just really just enjoy the flavors.
Yeah.
So ready-
Okay, what's
next
number
one.
4?
So this is called Old Rasputin. It's by North.
Like, ding, 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 ding,
Yes.
ding, ding.
It's a Russian Imperial stout that is aged in bourbon barrels,
Okay.
and it's by North Coast Brewing Company. It's 11.8%.
Oof.
So we're going up.
We are going up. Okay. Well, this is actually a classic example of this style.
Okay.
So if you're looking for BJCP style
Mm-hmm. This is
and
it.
Russian Imperial Stout, this is one of them, yeah.
Oh, look at that color.
Oh, my word. The foam is black. Not quite. Look at
Oh
that.
my goodness.
I mean, I would definitely call the foam toward brown.
Oh, it's rocky.
It's not quite opaque. I get like the smallest little bit of like amber light
Tiny.
through there.
Just a tiny bit.
Oh my goodness,
Oh,
though.
goodness. It's beautiful to start with. So, again, you drink with your eyes,
Yeah, for sure.
and so far, so good.
Now, looking at the head, is that kind of pancake or cakey head that
I would call that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks just like, when you put hot cake batter on a hot griddle.
Mm-hmm.
Right before you need to flip it,
Bubbles
you see the bubbles coming up. That's what this looks like.
Oh,
Oh,
already
wonderful.
smell it.
Yeah, let's check out this aroma.
Okay, so on this one, I definitely get the bourbon.
Really?
I get the bourbon on it.
I was overwhelmed with like coffee and chocolate.
I don't get either of those. I
Ah.
get bourbon.
So this is a point about tasting. Like we're giving you, we're studied on this. We're giving you what we think is an educated opinion,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody can tell you what a good beer tastes like. Nobody can tell me, and nobody can tell Jennifer.
Nobody
I mean, this
can
is
tell
so
you what you like either.
Yeah, right.
So
right. So we can kind of guide you
Mhm.
in beer, but don't let anybody tell you what is a good beer or what isn't a good beer.
yeah,
All right, I want to get into this because this is interesting.
I'm a little trepidatious because of the smell of the bourbon, but I think I'm ready to go.
Just be open to it.
I'm open to it. The experience.
Open the door and let her in.
Let her in. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. The smell was bourbon forward.
Mhm.
The taste is not.
No, what are you getting?
I don't know. I have to try it again.
I'm getting cocoa. I'm getting coffee. I'm getting vanilla from the barrel. I do get a bit of bourbon, but it's not overwhelming.
It's small. It's not.
It's complimentary.
It's very complimentary.
Do-
I was put off by the smell. When you're drinking beer, try not to let the smell put you off. Go for it. Try it because you might be pleasantly surprised.
I-
I am with this one.
Yeah, well, I thought from the aroma that it would be oversweet,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my great fear with these kind of beers. I don't like
Yeah.
oversweet. It's not
No, and it's not not over
bourbon.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm appreciating this very much actually.
Are you getting the chocolate and the coffee kind of?
Yeah, and I
Notice
get a
now?
drying note at the end, which again we've
Mhm.
said before, it makes you want to drink more.
Yeah, but what do you
Which-
think that drying note's from? Like, I think that's from that bourbon barrel, that oaky kind of
Yeah.
finish.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's good.
It is delicious.
It's definitely one to put in your repertoire.
Well,
Give it a shot.
yeah, and there's no, in my mind now, there's no confusion as to why this is like a classic example of the style.
Yeah.
It's outstanding.
Yeah. Do you think you're ready for the score? Do you think you know how you're going to score it?
I think I am. I think the more sips I take, the more the
The more
numbers
ready.
just keep climbing. There's-
Here
Here we go. Jinx. You know, baby, I have one thing to say after what has been our fourth
Mhm.
beer in the Bootleggers beer review,
Mhm.
and that is
I think we're both feeling pretty good.
yeah. Here's the thing, and we're being responsible. We don't have anywhere to go.
Right.
We're not going. We're not going to put ourselves in danger. But
Right.
these have to be treated with some respect.
They do. They do. Because they go, they can be incredibly high in ABV. So you just have to be aware of where you are.
Yeah.
Because, you want to be careful and be
And-
safe.
Yeah, and something, if you've been following us, something you've seen on our previous episodes is, for me too, but especially for Jennifer, when there's a sweetness or a drinkability to the alcohol or to the beer, the alcohol goes right by.
Yeah.
So we've kind of seen that a lot recently.
We
haven't
have. We really have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you excited about the next one?
I am. This is
We
not.
have 2 to go. And so I think, this next one is also an 11.8%.
Oh, have mercy.
Have mercy.
All right. Let's get.
It's by Boulevard Brewing Company. It's called Whiskey Barrel Stout. So
Okay.
it's aged in whiskey barrel.
Okay, bootleggers, tell us in the comments what is the difference between bourbon and whiskey. And we're gonna have a little contest here.
Yep.
We're gonna have a little contest.
Okay.
If the first person in the comments who can tell us the difference between whiskey and bourbon
Uh-huh.
will get a free t-shirt from our new merch store, which is coming out.
How exciting.
So the first person in the comments to tell us exactly what is the difference between
I don't even have a t-shirt yet.
Okay. All right, free t-shirt to the first person in the comments who can tell us the difference between Whiskey and bourbon. Okay. So you've heard of bourbon barrel aged beers. This is a whiskey aged beer.
It's like the color of the last one, but
it is. No,
I think I gave you more.
No, ma'am. Let's be careful here. Come here.
Oh,
would you call that opaque? Look at that. It eats light. It eats the light.
Yeah, there is. Small amounts of like.
Just the smallest shade of amber.
Tiny, but it's almost like it pours like a milkshake. I'm not to say that it's thick per se, but that head is like milkshakey.
How would you describe? That's the darkest head we've had yet.
Yeah, that's
a light brown. It's not even tan anymore.
It's not tan anymore. No, for sure. It's light brown for sure.
Yeah. Would you say the beer is? It's not clear.
No, it's not clear.
It's different from opaque.
There's a little bit of light coming through it, but the very smallest amount of light coming through it.
Well, let's see what the aroma is like here. Give it a nice. Don't be afraid to swirl your beer. Get it moving, right? You want to stir all up and get right into it.
Ooh, I get the alcohol right off the bat.
Do you?
Oh, I do.
What I'm left with is chocolate, a touch of coffee, but overwhelming chocolate.
I'm going to say something,
but
probably a smell sweetness. I know you can't smell
sweetness. You don't smell sweetness.
You don't smell sweetness.
Okay, well, no, let's break it down then.
When you smell a chocolate cake, you can smell the sweetness of the chocolate cake.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay, so what Jennifer's talking about is the association of sweetness. So we were just saying earlier, you may taste chocolate and your brain associates chocolate with sweetness. But chocolate in itself is actually what?
Bitter.
There's no sweetness in chocolate. Go take a spoonful of Baker's chocolate. Tell me what you think, right? Because chocolate is always paired with sugar, or often paired with sugar. We associate chocolate flavors with sweetness, and I think that may be what's going on. Does that sound right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty solid.
You ready to knock in? I do get bourbon.
I'm a little...
Well, I say bourbon. It's not bourbon.
Whiskey.
It's whiskey.
The difference between whiskey and bourbon.
It will be explained in the comments by the winner of the T-shirt from our merch store.
That's right. Okay, I think I'm ready.
Ready to go?
I'm a little nervous about this one.
You keep saying that, but then you keep enjoying the hell out of these.
I know.
Okay.
Right. Stop.
No, I'm waiting to say. I don't want to taint what you're going to say.
Pleasantly surprised.
That is the key word today, folks. What is it that you're getting that's kind of challenging your expectations?
So what I'm not getting is a completely overwhelming whiskey flavor.
Yep.
Which I got in the aroma. So, I said this is the last one.
You said alcohol the first thing when
you said the aroma put you off of trying the beer. Because the aroma would have put me off of this one, but the flavor...
Yeah, there's a bitterness from the chocolate, from the roast, probably from the roast on the malts. The balance, it's sweet beer.
I do get a burn in the throat.
When you say burn, let's refine that a little bit.
Okay.
When we refer to alcohol really doesn't have a taste. Alcohol is described as mouthfeel. So when she says burn, we refer to generally as alcohol warming. Is that fair?
Yes.
There's some alcohol warming in
for sure. Absolutely. I get the alcohol in the back of the throat.
So you don't taste alcohol, you feel.
I feel the
alcohol. Okay.
Yeah.
Now for me, I feel that way too, but the beer itself is really gentle in that approach.
It's creamy.
It's sweet. There is some dryness on it. There is bourbon, but again, it doesn't.
No, whiskey.
Whiskey. See, yeah, you're right. And it doesn't taste like bourbon.
No.
Like it doesn't get that like caramely note that I would associate with bourbon. I think this is. Today we've definitely been challenged. We have definitely been challenged.
We have. So what do you think? You ready to give a score on this one?
We're at beer number 6.
It's been quite a journey.
It has been a journey, and we said this halfway through, and I'll say it again. all of these have been kind of surprising.
They have been.
There's a style that we both said was not our favorite, and we've been challenged on that point every single brew we've tried.
We have. So the last one is actually not barrel aged per se, but it is by AleSmith Brewing Company. It is called Speedway Grand Prix.
So you're hearkening back to the stock car and the racing roots of bootlegging.
All back.
It is Bootleggers beer review. Okay,
yeah, for sure.
So not barrel aged, but
Imperial.
Inspired by stock car racing.
Yes, for sure. Okay. Imperial Stout with toasted coconut and Vietnamese coffee. It is 12%.
Oh.
So
look, one of the things when you're tasting beers, you generally want to increase in intensity, right?
We sure have done that. Yeah.
So we started at 5.5. We skipped right to 8.6. Then it was 11 something and straight on.
All the way. All right.
Again, a point to take this slowly and carefully and enjoy each other and the beer.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, look at that color.
This is blacker than...
Oh my goodness.
Oh my... Completely opaque.
Yeah, nothing through that.
Nothing at all through that.
No light. No light through it at all.
I'm holding it up to LEDs and I'm getting... zero.
The slightest amount. Just a very tiny bit. I get a little...
Oh, I don't even see it.
Yeah. Look at that head, though.
Dark head.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Again, that one looks like, to me, like almost chocolate cake batter.
Yeah.
Not that quite. Not quite.
Give me a spoon.
Yeah. Let's just eat the foam of the beer.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right.
Let's see what the aroma is. Mild.
It's very mild. I don't get the coconut. I don't get the coffee necessarily on the smell.
I might get hints of that, but I don't get it like fully like coconut.
I feel like the flavor is going to be different though than the smell.
That's kind of been a theme too, hasn't it?
It's been a theme the entire time, you know.
Okay.
You ready?
I think so. This is the last one. Here we go. I don't want to jump in and color what you're going to say.
Coconut.
Yes.
Sweetness.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes. Chocolate notes.
Chocolate notes, but then I also get a burn of the alcohol on the back of the throat.
Warming,
not burn. Okay. Sorry.
No, but I see what you're saying. But
you feel it. You feel it on the throat.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
But again, the sweetness brings it down smoothly. And I got a lot of roast in the malt. A little bit of Maillard. Kind of almost lightly burnt flavor. And that tempers the sweetness.
It does. Again, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Be willing to put yourself out there and try different things.
That's a good point. We say that taste and visuals are important, and they are. And they may hint very well at what's coming in the taste. But then you have the taste. Then you have the aftertaste. Then you have the retronasal. And I think all three of those can be very different.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So it's sweet, but I get a drying from the roast notes.
Right. That coffee.
I mean, both of us came into this saying this was not our favorite style.
You know?
And maybe I'm still there, but I think I have a...
It's not my favorite style, but I'm more willing to put myself out there and try them when I see them on the board at a brewery. Because you just don't know unless you try them. You have to put yourself out there.
And to that point, my mind has been... like opened a little bit today.
Mine too, yeah.
So all of these I think I would have again.
I would too.
And not one of them would I say, oh, well, that's not for me. I mean, even though it's a style I don't generally prefer. Fantastic.
Yeah, very good.
Ready to go on this one?
I think so.
Oh, that's beautiful.
All right.
Okay, here we are. Well, as always, this has been a journey for us. And for me, one that had a lot of surprises. So we said before that this was not a particular favorite of our styles.
Not for either of us.
Having said that, we kind of pushed the envelope, and all of these we could see with their own merit.
Yeah. My least favorite was the one that wasn't in a barrel. So,
isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Your least favorite was the last one.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, so here's the thing. When we talked about earlier, nobody can tell you what a good beer tastes like. Mm-hmm. This is that kind of thing. Maybe it's true that no one can tell you what a good beer tastes like, including yourself.
Push yourself.
Push yourself. Check out and see where that envelope lies, and really push the edge of that.
Yeah.
You know. You'll be surprised. We were.
You gotta try it to know if you don't like it.
Yeah.
So if you don't try it, you don't know.
Yeah.
So
now take that from two people who each in the last 4 years have tasted over 4,000 distinct brews.
Yeah.
So that comes with some level of experience, and to say that even with that experience, we're being surprised all the time.
All the time. It's amazing the amount of times that we're surprised by a different beer that we've tried, a different style.
Well, and we approach everything with our own kind of perception.
Yeah.
And it's good to have that challenge.
Yeah.
More than often.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But thanks again for joining us for another episode of A Couple of Beers.
Yeah, we have a lot of great content for you coming up. And until then, make sure that you
like and subscribe.
And may your beers be cold.
And your beds be warm.
Cheers.
Cheers.